The grid girls marched towards the grandstand, indicating that everything was all set for the 14-car field at the starting grid for round 9 of the Asian Formula 3 Super Prix at the Sentul International Circuit in Sentul, Indonesia. At pole was Filipino Tyson C with 1 minute 24.3 seconds. Less than half a second behind was James Winslow of Great Britain. Third was Australia's Christian Jones. At fourth was Indonesia's Ananda Mikola. Fifth was John O'Hara from Ireland. Filipino Dado Peña was at sixth. Rodolfo Avila from Macau was at seventh. And leading the promotions was Indonesian Moreno Soprapto at eighth. At the start of the race, Tyson C roared off to a good start, while Ananda Mikola began slicing through the middle. But Winslow managed to wedge the backfield to take hold of second spot, while the rest hustled for position. Out of the first turn, it was Tyson C first, Winslow second, Christian Jones third, Mikola fourth, and O'Hara fifth. On board Dado Peña, Ananda Mikola made a great overtaking maneuver to pass Jones to grab third position, and Peña also made a great move to pass John O'Hara to seize fifth place. Tyson C was now building about a 2-car length lead over Winslow. Mikola remained at third and Jones now fourth. Back on board Dado Peña, and John O'Hara made a brilliant move to seize back fifth position from Peña. At the ensuing turn, it was C first, Winslow second, Mikola third, Jones fourth, O'Hara fifth, and Peña sixth, while Moreno Soprapto was at ninth to lead the promotions class ahead of Farrell, Murphy, and Tuason. C was now extending his lead, and so was Winslow at second, Mikola at third, but all of a sudden Ananda Mikola lost control of his car and shot straight towards the barrier. As the smoke cleared, Mikola got off his seat and frustration was written all over his face. That was the end of the race for Mikola.
I start from fourth and then I'm third in the third corner, and then suddenly the throttle just stuck. That's it.
Back in the race, Moreno Soprapto still led in the promotions class ahead of Lee Farrell, Murphy, and Tuason. Into the grandstand, and Tyson C was now pulling away from the rest of the field. Winslow was at second. Jones now enjoyed third with Mikola out. O'Hara fourth, Peña fifth, and Rodolfo Avila sixth. Moreno Soprapto was now behind Avila's gearbox, trying to make a move into the next turn. And by the next turn, Soprapto did manage to gain sixth position for Avila. A great move by the young Indonesian driver. Promotions class driver Lee Farrell spun, stalled, and was out of the race.
I just had a problem with the rear of the car. I had a lot of oversteer and I overdrove. Sort of my fault, but also the handling.
Meanwhile, Tyson C was still enjoying a commanding lead over Winslow at second. A gap back to third place was Jones, O'Hara fourth, and Peña fifth. Back at the grandstand, Winslow was now widening the gap from him and Jones, with O'Hara right behind his gearbox. On board Dado Peña saw oil covering him and his car, which must have come from one of the close front runners. This could have come from Jones, who was, as you can see, is being passed by O'Hara at the first turn. It was now somehow affecting Dado Peña's performance. Exiting the S, O'Hara was now pulling away a bit from Jones, and Peña still managing to take control of his oil-covered car. At the start-finish straight, Peña was still in hot pursuit of Christian Jones, still following him into the next turn. Moreno Soprapto was behind Peña to lead the promotions class. And Peña did lose control of his car, exiting the Fast S. He overshot but still was able to get back in the race.
It was handling really poorly. We had this similar problem throughout the weekend, and it haunted us again in the race.
Back at the top, O'Hara was now taking on Winslow for second, but it was too late for the Irishman. Into the grandstand, Tyson C grabbed the checkered flag, winning his very first race of the season. Second was James Winslow, O'Hara third, and Jones fourth. Driver standings after round 9 saw Mikola with 115, Winslow with 85, and C with 81. In the promotions, it was Soprapto, Murphy second, and Tuason third. Soprapto still led with 130 points, Murphy 99, and Farrell 75. The celebration commenced once again in Sentul, Indonesia, as the drivers and fans gathered together for the start of round 10 of the Asian Formula 3 Super Prix here at the Sentul International Circuit. At pole position once more was Filipino Tyson C. At second was James Winslow from Great Britain. Third spot went to John O'Hara from Ireland. Australia's Christian Jones was at fourth. At fifth was Rodolfo Avila of Macau. Moreno Soprapto led the promotions class in sixth place, and Dado Peña from the Philippines was at seventh. Before the start of the race, Christian Jones suddenly left towards the pits. He was apparently having problems with his Dallara 304. It was later discovered that his drive shaft had failed, and his car was no longer fit to continue the race. Jones had no choice but to retire. As soon as the light went off, Tyson C took off to a good start, and so did Winslow. At the back, Ananda Mikola was now sliding his way through midfield. Entering turn 1, both Winslow and Tyson C were now hustling side by side for the lead. But out of the first turn, it was Winslow who emerged at the front, followed by C at second, O'Hara third, Avila fourth, Soprapto, leader of the promotions, in fifth, and Peña sixth. Coming into turn 3, Tyson C made a strong attempt to pass Winslow by trying to maneuver around the outside of the Englishman. At the back, Lee Farrell went off the track but recovered to get back in the race. So it was still Winslow ahead of C with O'Hara at third, Avila fourth, Soprapto fifth, and Peña sixth. C remained close behind Winslow's gearbox throughout the lap, stalking him to no end. Into the fast S, C was still nose to tail with Winslow, hounding him still, while a gap back behind was O'Hara at third and Rodolfo Avila at fourth. At the grandstand, the first four cars, Winslow, C, O'Hara, and Avila, were now pulling away from the rest of the field. Ananda Mikola continued his assault and was now at sixth place. At the ensuing turn, it was still Winslow, C, O'Hara, and Avila. But C had other plans. C moved up the inside of Winslow, entering the fast S, and by the slow chicane had successfully passed Winslow for first place. So it was now C in command, followed by Winslow at second, O'Hara at third, and Avila fourth. At the grandstand, Mikola and Peña had overtaken Avila, and Mikola this time was attempting to overtake Dado Peña from the outside. And entering the first turn, Mikola was able to get ahead of the young Filipino. Avila now dropped to sixth spot behind Peña. Back at the start-finish straight, O'Hara was now chasing after his teammate Winslow for second position. Tyson C was nowhere in sight. He was now overlapping back marker Mike Tuazon and was now enjoying almost a full length of a pit's lead from the closest competitor Winslow, who was now also catching up with the back marker Tuazon. Tyson C was now in full control of the race, a fantastic performance for the young Filipino, obviously gaining confidence from his win in the last race. But luck ran out for Irishman John O'Hara, who went off the track with a broken right suspension after colliding with Ananda Mikola. He was now making his way towards the pits.
I started having problems with my gearbox. Kept had to hold the car in fourth gear, kept jumping out of fourth. So, made a mistake, allowed Ananda to catch up on me, and he made a move at the chicane and we touched. That's it. Game over.
In the promotions class, Moreno Soprapto was still ahead of Lee Farrell in first place. And back at the top, Tyson C from the Philippines cruised to another victory in the Asian Formula 3 Super Prix, taking round 10. A great win for the young Filipino, who is steadily gaining confidence race after race. And there you see him receiving the Philippine flag to do a lap of honor around the track. Crossing the finish line at second was James Winslow. Ananda Mikola, who started from the back, emerged third. Also a great win for him as well. Filipino Dado Peña was at fourth, and Rodolfo Avila of Macau was at fifth. Overall standings after round 10 saw Mikola with 127 points, C 101, and Winslow 100. In the promotions, Soprapto took first place, Farrell second, and Murphy third. Promotion standings after 10 rounds saw Soprapto with 150, Murphy 111, and Farrell 90.